Tsongkapa,
Chombe de Shema Chompa Yangdapa Sope Sangi Rinpa Shasu Tenpa Dewa Shepa Je Tsongkapa Jubundu Kalo Jua Lana Mipa Lana Minaki Tamo Sambe Chombe de Kagyawa Shakya Tuha Chulo Kyamso Chi O Zambane Zo Chulo She Soche De La Kompa De Bone Mane Jiten De Na Choche Son De Se Kyamba Chula Chase Lo Nanda Kumya Chochu Sung Zawa Yeshe Ganso Sergye Lumbo Dra Papa Jiten Sona Lame Wa Shunye Jula Changse Lo Senjo Denpa Jumi Lame Yo Senjo Gawa Jula Changse Lo Jira Jira Siva Soma Ji Yame Jin Jula Changse Lo Gombo Tuje Che Denpa Tamshe Che Me Tenpa Bo Sama Yu Ten Gyatso Ji Deje Che La Changse Lo Tabe Tu Cha Cha Wan Yu Gyewe Nye So Le Dru Ji Jidu Dun Lo Chu Ju Ba She Ju Ju La Changse Lo Yu La Yang Den La Pa La Na Rang Tu Ni Shen Yu Da Pa Yu Den Den Gyu Du La Yang Chak Se Lo Dio Pa Chu Yang Nu Ja Xin Ge Wa Bu Su Su Pa Ju Pa Yu Sen Ni Yo Su Du Du Ne Sang Yi Ten Pa Yi Karma Rare Ma Me Dan Yura Se Wa Chu Go Dan Mela Lo Na Drin Ta Bo Yu Che Chu Na De Ta Ta Sa Na De Ri Ta Che Se Pa Yi Go Pa Ta Ne Chun Ju Ra Tu Te Ga Da Na Da Chi Ve La Chu Ve Sipe Sale Drowa Drowa Yosho.
Thus I have heard. At one time, the Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of Ultra Peak Mountain, with a great gathering of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the samadhi of the many aspects of phenomena called profound appearance. At the same time, Venerable Abong Rinpoche, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, looking at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, saw the five skandhas in natural emptiness. Then, through the power of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to Venerable Abong Rinpoche, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, how should a son of the lineage train who wishes to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the Venerable Abong Rinpoche, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, answered the Venerable Shariputra with these words. Shariputra, those men and women of the lineage who wish to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom shall look at it like this. The five skandhas should be seen purely in their natural emptiness. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form also is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, recognition, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are emptiness, and having no characteristics, they are unborn and unceasing. They are not pure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no recognition, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no phenomena. There is no quality of sight and so on, until no quality of mind and no quality of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no exhaustion of ignorance, and so on, up to no old age and death, and no exhaustion of old age and death. In the same way, there is no suffering, no origin, no ending, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, since there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide by means of profound perfection of wisdom. And since their minds have no obscurations, they have no fear. Transcending falsity, they attain nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times have relied upon the perfection of wisdom, and have become true and complete Buddhas of unsurpassable, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the profound perfection of wisdom, the mantra of insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering, should be known as truth, for it is not deceptive. The mantra of perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Teata om gate gate paragate parasangate bodhi soha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva mahasattva should train for profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and said to the bodhisattva mahasattva, noble Avalokiteshvara, that he had spoken well. Well done, O son of the lineage, it is so. O son of the lineage, since it is just so, the profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will also rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Sharadvati Putra and noble Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, and the entire gathering, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, rejoiced and praised the words of the Blessed One. Lama Danga Po Jesun Jambe Yangla Chanselo Gandhi Bodro Trini Trindre Nita Nanda Rapselwe Jini Dungu Jijin Zichir Niji Zoka Lekmanzin Ganda Sipe Sonar Mari Muton Dunye Jizirwe Drozo Kuna Buchi Tatse Yala Tuju Yangden Sung Drotar Chidro Nyamo Nilon Leki Jadro Droze Chin Mari Muse Donye Nulu Jiji Junze Gadrina Dene Boje Zoje Daze Yeden Zon Jose Tulu Shudra Judan Juni Gendra Dalu Minse Jambe Yana Du Arabatsana Di O Arabatsana Di O Arabatsana Di Senen Juju Jivaru Zergi Dalu Jimo Mimba Sene Kadan Tenjo Julu Tobayi Lodro Bobe Yangwa Yodu
It is the tradition of the village of Lam Rim. It important to understand there are two things that need to be done in the beginning and then at the end. And in the beginning, one cultivates appropriate motivations to receive the teachings of the Lam Rim.
다 거기서 보면 저기 주된 주제니 대해서 돌아가는 동안째 아니 뒤에는 돌아가면 돌아가라 된다대야 라신 타 자신 갖는 거 타신도 있다지 두에니 뒤에는 아주 여러 제제.
So having cultivated appropriate motivations, we're gathered here for 2 hours and make our 2 hours of togetherness meaningful and purposeful, not wasting those 2 hours. And when speaking about not wasting our 2 hours of togetherness, is by cultivating appropriate motivations of fulfilling the wishes and then fulfilling the purpose of one's own self and that of other sentient beings. So here now, having cultivated appropriate motivations, one then visualize Buddha Shakyamuni surrounded by the lineage gurus of the Lam Rim, and you yourself as being in their presence and surrounded by all sentient beings. And with these visualizations, then one cultivate a fervent faith towards the Buddhas and the lineage gurus, and then cultivate a compassion towards all sentient beings. So with this kind of maintenance of our motivations, one then meditate for 3 minutes. So whatever that I've instructed, try to remember that, cultivating faith and cultivating compassion towards all other sentient beings, and visualizing Buddhas and lineage gurus in front of oneself. So with this, then with this focus, then one meditate for 3 minutes.
더 되게 기만 치바치는 나는 아선 가셔야 되잖아요. 사선 주변에 집에는 샤주 가지를 마지.
So with these motivations, the teachings that you receiving today is a great treatise on the stages of path to enlightenment.
아니 되게 샤주 가지를 뭐도 도마 아니 나중에 또 뭐 사자도 봐. 아니 성제 아니 나이 나가서는 저와 샤먹을 받았어. 아니 뒤에는 저가지 변도 주죠. 앞에 제세 대나고 그냥 신나.
So this teachings, the source of the teachings can be traced back to the teachings of the Buddha himself, who then transmit those teachings to the Maitreya's, in turn then are transmitted to the great Indian pandits, practitioners. But then, in collaboration with the great Indian pandits, then the Tibetan translators were translated into Tibetan from ancient Indian language into Tibetan.
아니 된되게 담바탕치 연수 내지도 되베니 전화만 정답 첨배 집에서 이제 단위지 상주 맞이는 거 생기죠.
So based on those teachings, then Lam Rim Chenmo composed this great treatise on the stages of the path to enlightenment, which encapsulates the three practices of the three scopes.
또 쇼리가 많이 봐. 동안 건가 땡지기 되네. 아니 냐서는 저쪽 뒤상에 또 라도 못하고.
It is given in a very orderly manner. The teachings are given in orderly manners, both sutra and tantra, and not just incomplete, but the complete form of the practice of sutra and tantra.
된되게 좀 선보대 천년자와 아니 상주 생기 준비도네. 제법 보이는 예보고 인가히.
In order to receive such a profound teachings, and it is important for the listeners and also the teacher who is teaching this teaching, giving these teachings, must be given on the basis of cultivation of bodhicitta.
너는 지원 내내 저와 심한 편치지 대치지 두거나 세단데 대치지 두거나 아니 랑가되는 것도 로사뱅이 지송셔야 진로지로.
So this is a teaching that Buddha Lam Rim Chenmo was given. But if one longs to achieve happiness for this lifetime and as well as the future lifetime, there is no other path, other than the great teachings on the stages of the path to enlightenment.
진짜 가르쳐는 대치세는 진짜지 정원대로와 주의 정원대로와 주의 정원이 다 대화주의 주대리 동행의 주대리 준대 가수의 어디 가서 준대 두셔서는 남짓 남바데 제요거라.
So because the reason why we're practicing here is to our practice, main focus of our practice is to achieve happiness and overcome sufferings. And suffering and happiness does not come into being from nowhere. It has its own causes and conditions. Suffering, if one do not desire for suffering, one must identify the root cause of the sufferings and get rid of this root cause of the sufferings. If one longs to achieve happiness, and the root cause of happiness must be identified and accumulated.
그래서 추추에서 다니게 맞잖아. 맞아. 주의 정원체로와.
So one thing that we must understand when speaking about suffering and being and happiness, when we are speaking about the suffering and happiness, we're speaking about cause and effect, and how we all are remaining under the control or under the power of the causes and conditions.
주의 정원체인자네. 아니 저와 심한 편식 주부 청년한테 전대 주쇼. 아니 과래 탑근에 전대 주쇼. 아니 산재산으로 그 전대 주쇼. 소한테 유무비네스다 팀바.
So it's here now, since everything including ourselves, are remaining under the power or under the control of causes and conditions. So therefore, if one engages, if one longs to achieve the objective, achieve that attainment of the small scopes practitioners, one must engage in certain practices which enables one to achieve the objective or the result of small scopes objective. And similarly, if one long to achieve the objective of the middling scopes, the practice of middling scope, one then engages in certain practices which enables one to achieve the objective of the middling scopes, and it goes to the great scopes as well. In order to achieve the objective of the practitioner of the great scopes, one must engage in the certain practice, the particular practices which enables one to achieve the objective of the great scope practitioners. So with this, I have gone through the four major, outlines of the Lam Rim Chenmo. So now we are on the stages of the path for the person of great capacities, which begins from the three major outlines, showing that developing the spirit of enlightenment is the only entrance to the Mahayana, and how to develop the spirit of enlightenment, and how to learn the Bodhisattva states after developing the spirit of enlightenment. So it is very important that if you important to memorize those outlines, because sometimes instead of reading through an entire book, one try to memorize those outlines, and not only just memorizing and verbalizing it, but try to contemplate on the meaning of those outlines. It's a very, very beneficial, helpful. So the benefit of memorizing those outlines, and whenever you go through this the text itself, even if you are if you open the book and then seeing one particular page, that you will be able to identify this particular page actually belongs to under the headlines or under the outlines of such and such text and so forth. So it's a really, really beneficial if you can memorize those outlines. So we are on this now under the headlines of how to develop the spirit of enlightenment. And so how to develop the spirit of enlightenment as a two sections. What kind of causes and conditions, what kind of particular causes and conditions that one need to accumulate to develop the spirit of enlightenment.
진시, 지시, 떡시, 지시, 종이시 요거. 대주당 운동대. 대주지 전전에 산재상을 로대 제거를 세죠.
So there here under this headings you could see that there are three headings: the development of spirit through the four conditions, the development of the spirit through the four causes, and the development of the spirit through the four strengths.
되게 사제때 가르치는 사제때는 로대제와 가르치는 로대제를 세죠. 사제때 연대통은 로대제와 아니 세상에 많이도 그러.
So this will really enables one to this actually encourages one to enter into the practice of the bodhicitta.
근데 땅가서 갔을 때 내가 뭐고 가서 가서 진시계는 진시계 되도록 지방을 내려서 그런데 생집이 진지 좀 가서 내도 저 시바상 되서 세대자서 지방에 다게 로고에다 가서 지방에서 된치 생대 건바 통에 소디 균의 상제라 통대제바데 생제바데 상주 통대제비 원의 자베 제대시 유지원의 맞아 제대시 이번에 맞아 봐
So we are on the page 23. It is on the fourth paragraphs. It's after you see how rare this most purposeful spirit is, you develop the desire to attain Buddhahood. You get it? Mm-hmm. Okay? Principally by this awareness, right? So if you see, how rare it is, this, the spirit of enlightenment to achieve, and so how precious it is, and how rare it is. If you're able to see, if you're able to understand this, will then encourage you to, to take this opportunity to really achieve this rare quality of spirit, quality of mind, and take this opportunity to, to achieve this, precious spiritual mind.
zambilni chala kanga jajo monde drishan chala yasho karere lawa ina ngatuchi ndekhi ji jaguro ro zambilni chala yonsu zoba jajo jingo jana yasho kare chanachi dangla na ngatu chöti go maro.
So if we were to given a choice of different kind of object, that's a very precious object that you have collected from many different parts of the world and displayed on the table in front of oneself. And which object, the precious object, would you choose if you were given a choice? We may get confused because there are a lot of different kinds of objects that are very precious, but you don't know which one to choose. But here now, if we were to display the quality of the mind, the positive quality of the mind, displaying on the table, and if we were to, if you are given it a choice to choose those mental quality, and the spirit of enlightenment, in other words, bodhicitta, is the most precious mental quality. There is no other mental quality which surpasses the spirit of enlightenment. So we need to become so courageous to seeing how rare and how precious it is since it is very rare, so rare, and it is very precious, I must not waste myself, my time, but rather I would put all my effort, exert an effort to achieve such a precious, spirit, which is bodhicitta.
단다데 생기 제대로 제세데 아니 선제타지 동해대 접이체도 있는 선제 제게 세기 뒤전다 있던 제히데 저거요 말이에요. 제대 세요거는 맞아 봤던 것은 단단마서 뒤제 제제 제게 계시셔야 돼. 얘다 제대 선제타지 조정 그 위치도 상주세 제거요.
So at this particular time that we were not really talking about the spirit, development of spirit of enlightenment, for the benefit of all other sentient beings. We are not really talking about that.
더 상제제 얘들라 대파 장유권의 상제 통대 매나 장기 된주발라 시와 정바 초반 준비로 너도 대해서 샴바던 현지 장비 권에 젠데라 고바 통에 상제 토번 되변에 젠데 주발라 시와 정비 초반 준비로 니지 총생하마 도미니비 셔당 대고지 제여메비 셔로스들
So here now, with regard to the two components of the spirit of enlightenment, the desire to attain enlightenment and the aim of the welfare of all beings, this fourth development of the spirit of enlightenment is established in terms of producing a desire to attain enlightenment, and is not established in terms of the end.
다다도도 되래. 그러나 여러 자전부터 속에 녀모 탕체대 방유디 라니 좀비 시와기 대화를 깨발아 수가 내려고요. 와서나다.
So here now, the arhats of the Pratyeki Buddha and Sharvakas, when they achieve cessation from samsara, when they achieve nirvana, they will remain in meditative equipoise, in the state of peace, in other words, for eons and eons.
다 김추지 시와 잠바 제메데 메포데 가레소 고고래. 살라와이나. 로아. 시와 잠바 제메비 잠제데 가레 메포소 고고래 살라와이나라다.
So if we were to say now, how can we break through this now? How can we intervene, those continue meditating on the nirvana or the peace for eons?
다 텔레 돈이 도빌로제는 메포소 두고 말어 와살라다. 그런제 돈이 무소 두고 요로와.
Now the wisdom realizing emptiness will not intervene that, because the wisdom realizing emptiness is achieved by those arhats.
다 가레도 고서나 샹추 센치부.
So only this bodhicitta, cultivation of bodhicitta, will prevent or will actually eliminate the extreme of peace.
김주제는 샹추 센이에 통요디야 마제는 메디기 소리지로와.
So when you see such qualities, then you will able to understand. So it is not, it is important for us to how important it is for us to cultivate bodhicitta.
당가서 계속하는 시에는 매치기 소수 찍고 남은 나올로 매치기 코너 찍고 집어던 대등의 지기 나머지는 야마제는 메디 말을 잡으러.
Just like if in our family members, there's someone who only think about him or herself, our own self and our own welfare, without neglecting the welfare of other family members, and that's not really wise, isn't it?
다들 청산 계절로 와. 다 최선의 이 용수 조바데 라니로 도고 용비 타게도한테 상주 생각하지 말라. 소장 버센스죠.
So there's no other methods, skillful means, to have a sense of caring and sense of connectedness, a sense of compassion for all other beings, other than bodhicitta. So this is how precious this bodhicitta is. So therefore, it is important for us to recognize this.
Randen Jubala, Shiva Chambe Choban Zimbi, Lun Do Magoba Mete, Sondoa. Quale Juba Zandi, Temela, Bombatan, Toba Shorevale Membe, Randen Pisotsova maybe shut down. Teda CB Gubale Tayan, Shi Gubale Madribi shut down. Randen Pisotsova, Sanji Chigu, Sombi Shoro, or some dish.
Okay. So without desire to attain Buddhahood, that come from cultivating faith in Buddha's good quality, you cannot overcome the sense of contentment that thinks peace, nirvana alone is sufficient to fulfill your own aims. The desire to attain Buddhahood on account of training in love and compassion and seeing the fulfillment of those aims necessity can eradicate the sense of contentment that thinks your peace alone is the fulfillment of sufficient to fulfill others' aim, but cannot stop the sense of contentment that thinks peace is enough for your own aims. Besides this desire to attain Buddhahood that comes from cultivating faith in the Buddha's quality, there is no other way to stop the sense of contentment that thinks your peace alone is sufficient to fulfill your own aims. Indeed, you do need to overcome the sense of contentment that peace alone is enough to accomplish your own welfare, because Hanina practitioners who are merely liberated from secular existence have only a partial elimination of faults and partial knowledge, and thus like the perfect fulfillment of his own aims. So these practitioners are liberated from the problem of secular existence, but not from the problem of peace.
Tadi position da jina ye tindri yaram da jambo da hame nyamde ji chi la keba la suba ne ba na kono takara ja sha na de gure be kono janda yin zo sa re la na.
So arhats such as Pratyeka Buddha and the Sharvakas arhats, when they achieve nirvana, non-abiding, when they abide the nirvana, so if we were to ask the questions, if this achievement nirvana is the ultimate aim of the fulfillment of his or her own, one's own aim as well as the aim of others. So no, this is not enough. It is not a sufficient, sufficient achievement, because let alone that it will fulfill the aim of others, it will not even fulfill the aim of one's own self. Although, but such arhats have actually, freed him or herself from secular existence, he or she is still not, still remaining, still in the fall into the extreme view of peace.
In
order to fulfill the aim of one's own self, one's own aim, one needs to achieve the Rangden Pongpo Pinso, which means the perfect abandonment of perfect abandonment. So in order to achieve the perfect abandonment, the quality of the perfect abandonment, the quality of the perfect abandonment can be achieved through the cultivation or through the achievement of the bodhicitta, without which it's not possible.
산제기 뒤중 가서 되시디 표준 소바 송 아이고나 산제를 줘가지고 선이디 런던 엄바 핀소 젠더 도바 핀소 대뉴르비 더 트네 핀소 산제를 표준 소바 송이요.
So therefore, there are three perfects. Which, when we speak about the Buddha's quality, we talk about the three perfects. One is the perfect quality of the abandonment, and perfect quality of the realizations, the perfect quality of the activities, the enlightened activities.
저기 표준 소바 송때 가려내 되는 정보를 세서나 양돈유도를 싫어 예 지고 공치하고 말해 인지 상주생.
So here now, by what means one accumulates, one achieves those three perfect qualities. Again here, the mere wisdom realizing emptiness alone will not enable one to achieve those three perfect qualities. The three perfect qualities can be achieved by means of the cultivation of the bodhicitta.
도디나 라데 타신바는 치고나야 상주생고리 젠다 타신고나야 상주생고리.
In brief, to perfect the fulfillment of one's own aim, and then perfect fulfillment of others' aim, the aim of other beings, can be achieved by cultivation of bodhicitta. The bodhicitta is the core causes and conditions for the perfect fulfillment of one's own aim and the perfect fulfillment of that of others' aim. So this. So if we really, just don't leave it as a word or just, a philosophical term, but rather if you try to really focus on and contemplate on it, then it will really increase your interest in meditating with bodhicitta. The perfect fulfillment of one's own aim, it is said, is Buddha's embodiment of truth. Therefore, once you cultivate faith in the good qualities of the Buddha, you will see that you must attain Buddhahood to accomplish even your own aims, let alone the aims of others. Understanding this is causing you not to turn back towards Hanyana.
제세지 가실라 저 미투게 테메도 동로가 다 같이 상추 상제 당 상제에 대도 상추 생게 편야 통선나 아니 라니 찍고 시대 동에 들어 가도에서도 매도 도고 말했어. 될 사고 말했어.
그래서
상제에 대통하다 상추 생게 편야 통나 아니 라니 찍고 시와 장반진 발에 요거 말했어요. 나는 테메도 한국 말했어요.
So if one is able to see the qualities of the Buddha and qualities of the Bodhisattvas and quality of the Bodhicitta in particular, one will then, one will then not only, engage in the practice towards achievement of nirvana alone.
배는 도대오시는 대로와 배는 나로 찍고 단다 타시바지 누구 연하나 대야 상주 그거 연하 아니 니랑 나가 누구 말어 나로 단다 타시바지 내 누구 연하나 이제 상자살 누구지 누구지 셰고도.
So if we were to engaging in the practice for the perfect fulfillment of one's own aim, that too again need to achieve state of enlightenment. Without achievement of state of enlightenment, it is not possible for one to achieve the perfect fulfillment fulfillment of one's own aim.
간지 산재게 유대 당 상주 생겨 때 토소나 아니 라니 지고 태면하는 로에 돼 아니 가그래 소
If one is able to see, able to identify, if one is able to see the qualities of the Buddha and qualities of the Bodhisattva, it will then stop oneself from achievement of nirvana alone.
네, 이러고다. 하시비 센제바 동보니 가사 동보니라네 샹바다니 지정바 메나라 아사 소로 메나라세 소로다 텐주 젠레장 상제지 주주거다 취주구이인데 통화장제 통제 상제 통대나 센제의 시에바 망보 나오지 센제 통제 상 안에 나와 나오지 센제 통제 상제는 거바 이당 자바나 자방 센제도 송바다 나에 대니 레레냐 센제 제바 장제 장수 로고 마탕고라지 센이 요소 조바네 센제바네 젠다나 고바 통 장제 장비 산제 통대 장제 메조베 장대랑 산제 메드 미로와 통이 통대 당 대양서 젠데 예와 레베 젠데 예와 잡아 민바 젠지 시당 대대 예와 시 고대에서 모두 젠데서
So here now let's read through the text here. Among the four developments of the spirit of enlightenment, explained above, the first two are not induced by compassion and love. In other scriptures, scriptures and treatises as well, there are many explanations of the development of spirit of enlightenment as a desire to attain Buddhahood, induced by just seeing the good qualities of a Buddha's embodiment of the truth and embodiment of form. The determination to establish all beings in Buddhahood is also said to be the development of this spirit. So you must consider each of these two to be counted as simply developments of the spirit of enlightenment. With regard to developing a completely perfect spirit of enlightenment, however, it is not sufficient merely to have the desire to attain Buddhahood upon seeing the necessity of the fulfillment of others' aim. You must have the desire to attain Buddhahood that sees that it is indispensable even for your own aims. Furthermore, this intention must not neglect others' welfare, but be for others' sake as well. So, because the ornament of clear knowledge talks about both intention to attain enlightenment and the intention to accomplish others' welfare.
베나로 산제 탕대기 로 산제 인제다 샤주 가서 인제 타고만 샤주세는 인지미지 인제 장화지 거로와 샤주세는 인제 장화지 거지 산제 살은 런데 산제 인제 장화지 말해서
Just mere having a desire to achieve Buddhahood is not induced, that particular, the motivation is not induced by the compassions. But if you long to achieve bodhicitta, and this motivation, the desire to achieve bodhicitta, will always be induced by the compassion. So now here, when speaking about the bodhicitta, consists of two aspirations: aspiration to attain enlightenment, and aspiration to working for the welfare of other sentient beings. So we normally call the bodhicitta is said to be the enlightened mind of true aspiration. Aspiration to working for the welfare of other beings, aspiration to attain enlightenment for that purpose. So those are the two aspirations.
단지 가서 가는 저 희저디 치드샤오 선제 단지 된다 시에메와 라니 디바디마도 대 샤주세이메 계시죠 단데 저 희저.
So when speaking about the bodhicitta must be understood in terms of those two aspirations.
당고도 제대로 자기다. 내가 뒤에 있어 도마스. 뭐도 전에 선제반에 전도 신앙도 주변 상주의 제샤와 제상추다 전도 되니 인가 손비 셔러지 주진에서 대자기다.
So the ornament of the clear knowledge talks about both intention to attain enlightenment and the intention to accomplish others' welfare. The development of the spirit of enlightenment is a desire for perfect enlightenment for the others' welfare. The development of the spirit through the four causes. So you develop the spirit of enlightenment through the relying on. So we will go through this after break. Then there's four outlines.
Sanje Shindo Minde Bewoyi Rogun Nanda Shinla Shubo Shu Yedang Guru Minde Langa Nayan Daya Minch Ander 당 로인다 당 가서 또 있을 때 차와지로 말에 제제 때 차와지 또 주절에 제가 세들 근데 뒤뒤면서 만들 다 로인다 변 로샤 라서 주절에 제와내서 리피선 소바지 아니 게이션이 지셈바지 선전은 니저와지 거기 가실라 저라 메조와 질라 때네 세제바 오지들
Now here we're on the development of the spirit through the four causes. So you develop the spirit of enlightenment through relying on the four causes here: a perfect lineage, being sustained by a teacher, compassion towards living beings, not being disheartened by the difficulties of cyclic existence.
대체 단단한 좀 생지에서도 상제살로 론데 제와지로 라고요와 나도 생지에서 된거 좀 생장치의 생지반이 고카가자 돈보 그래서 얘한테 캔서 건도 그러나 생지에버시디 단데데 거는 상제살로 론데 제와지로.
So when speaking about generation of spirit enlightened, the spirit of enlightenment is a desire for achieving the state of Buddhahood. That is what is meant by spirit of enlightenment. Senke, the generation in Tibetan is a senke. It's this which literally means generation of mind. It's just a generation of mind.
The repeason so was the just teaching receiver, repeason so was the teaching receiver. Matuji Jiri Tanziri get at Majache, repeason so was the teaching receiver.
So the perfect lineage, the lineage here referring to the Mahayana lineage, you're actually becoming the Mahayana lineage. So there are teachings such as benefits of the entering into the lineage of the Mahayana and the disadvantages of not entering into the Mahayana lineage. Unable to enter into the lineage of the Mahayana is due to other the strong defilements, or it can also be it can also happen due to unable to enter oneself into the perfect lineage or the Mahayana lineage due to the bad companionships or the bad fellow friends and so on.
소위 요지 폰바.
And then also lack of resources.
단대지에도 소위 요지 폰바. 대 지보수지 신진신 양한테 줘봐.
And then also remaining under the domination of some kind of authoritarian regimes and so on. So in order to engaging in such a practice or in entering into such a lineage, we need to we need to gather all those favorable conditions. If we lack one of those favorable conditions, one cannot be enter into the lineage.
주단 리시비 간사들 주단 체반도와 변나 리시비 간사들 바차좀부 간사래 딱간지 바차좀부 간사다서 계시 이니 단전나 이니모 슈총아 아니 예송도 계시 제가와 제나야 동행 슈총아 아니 녀도 타와 된리 체반도와.
So there are individual who has a very strong positive imprint or the propensity left by one's previous life. Will then have a lesser defilements, and although he or she may possess defilements or the afflictions would be really not as intense as as someone who has bad imprints and so forth. And then even if such individual has to take a rebirth in the hell realms, and such individual will not remain in hell realm for a long time.
당가서 리시비 간사 좋은 건지 되네래. 니지 첨부 감발라 가와. 아니 저바 감발라 가와. 짐바자 첨부 동안라 가와.
So to really having imprints of entering into the Mahayana will have enthusiasm towards achievement of cultivation of bodhicitta and towards practice of generosity and practice of morality and so forth. And such a individual is said to be possess a quality of the lineage of the Mahayana.
줄라만의 배장의 소로와 배나 도알란의 메시다 시장란 시세의 리네지 참아달리 제세 아니 딘디기 난주대기 가르된 거여서나 아니 가자대지라 대바침이 리여바데 된거라서.
So such individuals, when you have a sign of having someone who is so enthusiastic of engaging in the practice of compassion, engaging in practice of generosity and so forth, which really indicates and as individual is possessing the imprints of the lineages, the qualities of the imprints of lineage of the Mahayana lineage.
될라다 배나 도와요나 매여비 도에기 딸에 매여바보 아니 취장 이런 뭐 되고야네 되고를 치요 되고 될라사베
Lagbi.
대기 단대 리비 배되니 저거는 대손도.
So it is the analogous you will also see in the
Gilama
in the Uttara Tantra by Maitreya, where he stated that someone, if it is analogous to the smoke, if there is a smoke, and ultimately there is a fire, it is due to the fire, the smoke coming into being, right? Then there is what we call the water bird. If you see a water bird, flying around, for sustained period of time, which indicates there's a water nearby. So similarly, someone who has an interest, someone who is interested in, engaging in the practice of compassion, is said to be said as an indication of having a lineage of, or the imprints, or the lineage, the quality of the lineage of the Mahayana.
시주를 정신이 다 좀보여나 이 릴 밀을 치면도 릴 바보 담았으니 주냐와요. 로. 시 다저로 나기 덴티 사변의 수치보여나 시 다的세보 된도.
So if one has such a quality within the continuum of oneself, then this will also at some time manifest in a physical manner, such as just having a faith and having an interest in meditating on suchness and so forth will really by engaging in such a practice, the tears will rolling down the cheek, and the pores of your body will stands out and so forth.
리피선 소바세데 추노는 인지미지 간사기 개체시가 말이죠. 리시디 선진이 되잖아. 리피선 소모서 시고라.
So the lineage here, just lineage here in this particular context, the lineage is not really referring to one particular person or the person, but rather it talks about the quality of mind.
다 게이션이 생각보다 딱 무슨 소리로 와. 다 게이션이 세단데 뭐지 마트나 아니 사변 가세요나 코 가르데 로또를 대면도 가서 누군가보다 면도고 말아.
So the next outline it says the being sustained by a teacher, which is very, very important. It is a fact, because without being sustained by a teacher, without relying upon the teacher, regardless of how much positive seeds or the propensities that you may have will not become ripen. In order to ripen one's seeds, which give rise to the sprouts and fruits, one must rely upon the teacher, also by sustained by one's teacher.
다 선전은 hit서지면은 딱 내가 자체 뭐 제게 미크로요 말어. 그러니 단도 부수도 수도 선전 가제 좀 전라 통중대 치에서도 강강 가지 따오고 요거도.
So then compassion towards living beings, and suddenly, if without having a compassion, it is certainly not possible for us to working for the welfare of other beings. Because without having a compassion, our mind is completely narrowed, and it is very narrow-minded, which prevents us from wholeheartedly engaging in certain activities which bring about beneficial to other beings.
가실라 저거라 다 거기 가실라 딱 가서도 지는 다지 차종이 동행되는 질리진 저토금도 로 총산의 시나 같이 거기 가실라 저통이 되고라 선택지.
So then here one of the again the important mental quality must be possessed, is not being disheartened by the difficulty of cyclic existence.
다 대지보된 것은 배선의 쉬었다고 하면도 레시 쉬자고 하면도 장가 코로나 더 놀라 상주생이 더블 되는데 드니지도 매바 상주생이 시가 말세에 맞아 고토고도.
So this is very clear, without having such a quality, those four qualities, perfect lineage, being sustained by the teacher, compassion towards living beings, not being disheartened by the difficulties of the cyclic existence. Without having such a quality, it is not possible for us to generate bodhicitta.
또 텔레야의 생애요 말라요 봐. 생야쇼들아와로 깔레야쇼 자금 제거라.
So in order to achieve the most excellent mental quality, suddenly we need to put in effort. It requires a lot of efforts and hardships.
잘라이나 렌탄 제바라. 공저 시야코요 말라.
It is priceless. You can't. It is. We cannot. It is beyond. How to say? Price that we cannot price. We cannot really. If you think about the value of those quality, the mental quality, and it is cannot be fathomed.
또 당간 로인다 제기된지 따따지된다. 따지래 제반에서 미기반 로토지. 따지래 제반에서 랑게 투 조전 더버 랑게 따다한지. 젠지 투 조전 더버 젠지 따다한지. 뭐 태전라 공바 대다 상제다 상세정 아바 토바 상제 제와 주의 따다한스. 데 담바 땡진 추년발라 셈발라 소지 semba soji gyawa rendo komba joyi tab jela dene cheo sonda der.
So then next here the development of the spirit through the four strengths, right? You develop the spirit through relying on the four strengths. Is first the strength of yourself, the desire to attain perfect enlightenment through your own power. Second, the strength of others, the desire to attain perfect enlightenment through others' powers. And the third, the strength of the cause developing the spirit by having been familiar with the Mahayana and now merely hearing praise to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And the fourth, the strength of application in this life, being accustomed for a long time to such virtuous activities as relying upon an excellent beings and reflecting on the teachings you have heard. So here now, when speaking about the strength, there are the strength of one's own self and the strength of others.
Kolon reshe da ke jago yas ke mendo bena roa ta ko ne chuna tin reshe thang du tabje ani ta yasho te gyawa kombala tene ta ro ganja bala chene chebi tab sona.
So the most excellent strength is the strength derived through meditations.
Ta ji tab te yasho re do de tam chibare o ni ba de re do dāmbā tēnji chū nyā bāla tēne sēmbā kumbā sēdē jibārē rō gī shēnyē tēne chū nyā gāng jā na tēne jibā tēla gyāwa kumbī tārē dō.
So the strength, it's by relying upon the teacher and by receiving the teachings from the teachers and then meditating on the subject matter of the teachings that you have received from the teachings and and whatever the strength and power that you may have generated out of those receiving teachings in your own meditations is said to be the one of the strength.
teaching the tensi chi zo sto den ju da chen kar cha na yo choba ani choba la ten chen ye chen na rang gi to de ju to la ten chen ye chen na ten ba yo re sem ba ten ba yo re so do de jo lo sha na ring de da
You did love So then it says, it is reading through this fourth strength, the strength of the application in this life, being accustomed for a long time to such virtuous activities as relying upon an excellent beings and reflecting on the teachings you have heard. Furthermore, the Asanga's Bodhisattva level, Bodhisattva's Bhumi, says that after you depend on the four causes and four conditions, whether individually or collectively, you generate the firm spirit of enlightenment if you develop it from your own strength or from the strength of the cause.
당가 저야 저기 전에 시다리마도 단다 연주 꾸발라 때네 상주 생 젠트려리 젠예노네 가르데 와서는 주당 아니 라니기 떠지지 주연의 젠이나 가르이나 아니 라니기 떠지 젠에데 선바데 템보여레스 이니 연주 꾸바 상지 저와이나 템보시라요 말레스 땡담마 땡이겨자.
So here the firm generation of the firm spirit of enlightenment. If one is generated bodhicitta, depending bodhicitta by one's own self, by understanding and by seeing the qualities of the bodhicitta and understanding the benefits of the bodhicitta will be more, it's said to be the firm, and it's more stable, instead of someone else's, encourages you to develop such a strength, spirit of enlightenment.
내가 치셔대 가르고르선 라니기 상추생기 편여당 니바데 통 아니 델라데네 겨와 공발라데네 제통이 지거다.
So now here the most important is to development of the spirit of enlightenment must done by one's own self, by understanding the benefits of the bodhicitta and understanding the qualities of the bodhicitta and the advantages of the development of the bodhicitta.
노인다. 대다 템바 찌단 테바 쳔비 템바 누드 녀신사. 니마 레잔 치 니마 주위 뒤인데 레바 거나 니 타바네 센지바 신도 건바 리바 샤라스 마레 샤라스 담비실라 텐데 테바친비 되네 녀바다 셈바 라수베 조알람 베진 젠지 오메드 꾸와다 데레 양르 주바다 수가 소지 미자와 란토진데 사바 마레 삼바 타바네 센지비 자와추바 셰데 샹추 셈비 슈바 탄진 델라 템바 고비 쇼로스 델라 템 고비 쇼 데레 다지테노 테메데 타토 코지 단다 대소.
So now here it says, it is not firm if you develop it from other strength that we talked about earlier, or from the strength of applications, right? Then it says, once you have understood well that the teachings in general and the Mahayana teachings in particular are about to disappear, and that this time is particularly degenerate, you realize that the spirit of enlightenment developed from the depth of the heart is extremely rare. Rely on an excellent teacher and make an effort to practice studying and reflecting, etc. upon the Mahayana's scriptural collections, and plant the root for the development of the spirit from the depth of your heart, not forced by others, nor mindlessly following others, nor through the habit of custom, but through your own strength. All the bodhisattvas teach are necessarily based on it.
내가 야불로고 내가 당가서 때 년가 전부 쉬우래 양라 주선데 배 인샤샤 제저로 맞아 태전 바 인샤샤 제네 로 선발다 보면 저제 아니 주보데 대바체 밑에는 집에 손을 진 로이 배 년가 전부 쉬우래 카란로는 강저 산마도 와이나.
So here now we take it for granted and thinking that we are considering oneself as a practitioner of the Mahayana, and without examining one's own mind and having we boldly claim ourselves as being the practitioner of the Mahayana. So therefore, it is very important for us to really turn inward and to really to check ourselves, examine our quality of our mind, whether one is really worthwhile to be considered as the practitioner of the Mahayana or not.
거기서는 아주 칸데 쇼로 같이 면서 맞잖아. 배지 대받침이 추정적으로. 거는 정도 생제기 마생이 배지 칸데지도 요 말에. 다 칸데지에 대받침이 추정되어 가실라. 선바데 테메 레자 테메 베데 장데 장바 되는 게 년가 전부도 와.
So there's a great danger, although that in our prayers, when we recite some, prayers and so on, and if you look at the words of the prayers, there's no words of the prayers for us without, expressing the development of compassion and bodhicitta. Yet at the same time that we may, verbalize those words, but then if you look at our mind, the mental quality, the state of our mind is remaining even, lower than high-end practitioners, even, very worse than, high-end practitioners and so forth, because we are verbalizing and the refuge formula and generation of bodhicitta and taking refuge in chujos and generation of bodhicitta and so forth. But if you look at your mental quality, our mental quality is completely controlled and dominated by the self-cherishing mind.
라바등에 가서는 상주선비 담바지 셔잖아. 가서 류롱시 견소대 제바 선진 집이 잘라로. 대런이 지고 배저 돈도는 지제 계획 놓셔봐 자고도 살아이바.
So as I mentioned, during my earlier teachings, that once you have received the Bodhisattva's vow, and our body, belongings, positions, and so forth are all the common object of all sentient beings. So if we become ourselves as so selfish and self-cherished, then we are actually misusing those the vows that you have received. You are misusing the object that belongs to all sentient beings, but you are the only one who is actually using it. In other words, it is a misuse of the object of other beings. So then we are really corrupted. It's just, if there's a anti-corruption party comes, and we will be arrested right away.
오늘 얘기하죠. 되는 이제 상주생이 편야산의 지당 카랑로로의 산을을 지당다 셈벌의 대지의 셈벌의 쇼와다 셈바자첨보 되는 요인도 상주생 생이 청하지 맞잖아요.
So it is very, very important just to think about the qualities of the bodhicitta and the benefits of even thinking about the practice of bodhicitta. When you when you are being yourself, all by yourself, and at the moment, instead of letting your mind go everywhere, if you just take care of your mind and just try to control your mind and let your mind focus on the benefits of the bodhicitta and the experience that you may have such an extraordinary experience at the moment of just by reflecting your mind for a moment of bodhicitta.
뒤중에 빼지 않으시고요. 근데 신카치는 처음부터 이런 것이 의지하던 요구가 전에 제도나 취지 땅용이 강하게 쓰는 거 편도커 본 제제로. 대나기게 상주기 세워대 신체 강가를 반영도 제용데 로 젠라 편바의 관계도 선바의 자청보 흘러도 쉬지.
Just like when the field or the field which is ready to grow the sprouts, the seeds are already planted, and when you water those entire field, then the entire fields will be filled by the sprout which sprang from the seeds. And similarly, when you are able to generate bodhicitta, and the radiance of the bodhicitta can be pervaded towards all sentient beings.
단단가서 선바차보다 소스지고 되는 소리지로. 딘주 땅에 선바대 영수 조발에 쳐놓아야지. 라니 지고서 되지 차보다 강에 쳐내 많이 봐. 진용을 반대로 해서 차로.
So right now, we are really our view of our state of mind is kind of like confined within confined by our self-cherishing thoughts and mind, and it is so hard, it's a limited and also confined that it is not freed at all. So if you are able to generate bodhicitta and think for the welfare of other sentient beings from the depth of your heart, then your mind is free from confinement.
그 상주 생기 편한 도배 되는 자와 추투바, 와. 그래서 자와 추투바지 시작을 해서도.
So therefore it says like, try to, plant the root of the bodhicitta. Try one's best to plant the root of bodhicitta.
근데지 좀나 아니 깨자 치지시나. 아니 지 샤슈지라 칼라지테나 자세히 쇼발로 그래. 소문데.
So then with this kind of, implanting the root of bodhicitta, and even if you speak one word of our normal conversation will become activities or become a bodhisattva's deed. And even if you give a crumb of bread towards birds and so forth, will become a deeds of the bodhisattva.
제세지 쇼바인다미 상추sem비 쇼바인다미 세 삼바코노 두르마도 가살 때마와.
So whether one's deed becomes a bodhisattva's deed or the deeds of the sons of the Buddha or not, it really depends on the state of mind or state of mind.
상추 선생에 대라 자체지에 따라와 소속이 천지잖아. 소속 천한질 해지다.
So with this kind of reflections and try to have some kind of the feeling within yourself, how wonderful it would be if I were to generate bodhicitta within oneself.
대체 단위별 상추 선생장 비편 생이대로 상추 선생장 비림바 생이들. 단위 이게 마스로 아니죠.
So now
상추 선생장 비림바 내서 니 조어 첨번의 집이 니 전제 명화 된다. 제스 시와라네 숑이 내 숑와라 내내 숑이 명화 인소스 정원 인소스도 상추 선생장.
So that is compassion, which is the next page. It says compassion, the entrance to the Mahayana, right? The stages of the training in the spirit of enlightenment. The training in the spirit of enlightenment has two parts. The training based on the 7 cause in effect, the personal instruction in the lineage of the descended from the great elder Atisha, and the trainings based on the teachings of the conquered Chal Shantideva.
다대기 단지대 가속이 마소나 창자치적으로 단지기 주주의 떠질라 되는 나타 상주선 맞잖아. 터문도 생이 상주선 산재이 살은 로그인 세계 타지 봐라. 대다기 제제네.
So now we talked about the 4 causes and the 4 strength. So now based on this 4 causes and 4 strength that you are determined to engage in the practice of the bodhicitta, you are very certain that yourself, that I must engage in the practice of the bodhicitta. And so there's no other practice important to the bodhicitta. So this kind of determination that you have developed.
다주 로야 타제는 어느 다주 못하는 로그에 너든 로그에 감바전 로그에 있어야 돼. 띵을 해 그러다. 상주 선생.
So now then, now you have determined and you are wholeheartedly that you wanted to practice. Now how you are going to practice? In what manner that you can practice? Just like you want to go somewhere, you wanted to go somewhere else and your destination, how can you reach this destination? You want to take car or you want to take plane and so forth. So we'll stop here today.
너 알레니 홍화 제대로 홍화들로 그러 또 홍화 책으로다. 홍화가 저 간데 책으로서는 다 당문에 전에기 상주지 생을 뭐지. 다 노버기 때 이제 고거로. 때기 노버니에 대해서 차진에 전에 상주생이 편하다. 노버도 노버인 바데 원천에. 아니 다들 가롱이 질래 제바. 근데 라지 선제 탄제 질래 제바링에 원에 전에 책이 제토번에는 되는 주변 라레 라마 집안은 신절로도서 전에 아니 홍화다 뭐는 이간롱이 제거로 해서.
So now, from today onwards, I was able to identify how precious the bodhicitta is, how I must treasure this practice of the bodhicitta, and I must remember and then reflect upon the benefits of the bodhicitta. I must engage in the practice from now on for the generation of bodhicitta, and for myself and that of other sentient beings. May all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the 10 directions please bless me to be able to engage in the practice of the bodhicitta.
Dāgī jīnyī sābhī gyāvāndī Tēdāṃ chōvā kyunlā kāmbē dāṃ Chēvāṃ jīzhēn lōsāṃ chāpā yī Dēmbē nyēmbō rēndō sēshē shō Bēchē shōshē mēndō chāṃ Rē rā līshē nyēndē jēmbāndē Sanje shendo miende bewa yin, rogun nanda shenla sheba sho. Do yanda lama dan, jeme shuje bela lan sheche. Sadan lan je yende razo ne, doje jangye. Rana mende laga naya daya mi bene zonye Nanjin jaye ombo dajo chi Tema sunbi tsera gundo yang Jambe yang ju tsewe jizo ne Tenbi rinpa kun san lang ji cho Nye ne rubi jena nye she sho Rangi ji jin dobi lang ji ne Sho zha tsewe changye tage ji Yi ji minpa se she ne Jia yu tenpa yu rin sen ju chi Tenpa rin chen chu ge ma cho pa Cha cha nyang pa chu bi shu de ne Ni ji chen bi yi ra chu pa yi Pin di de de se wa she pa shu Se jin jia yu mi zhong chen le 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 zhu shang chu lang ju rin be chang Tang de nang ju yi la be de shen Jia yin zi ba rin du chung ju chi Lang zang zhu bi ting jin zhu xi jin Ge jin si ji me dang mi mi kun Se ra gun du jia yu ngang ba yi Nang da lang dang zhe wa ma ju chi Kan zi te ba chu la chu shu ji Si jin zhu la zun ba te bi ce Tu den nang ji da du zhu xi jin Zha xi jiang si shu gun qiao ju ji Ming gu zi ra den jin Nang ga chen le shu ju jie ba tang Lo zang den bi zhi men sa song ji Zhu ye min se da du nian ju ji Ra ye gu ye xin gang su Pen dang de wa ma lin jiu ye ne Xin re zi wang di zi jia zu yi Xia bi sin ti ba du dian ju ji Ba yue ji da qian ba dang Gun du zang bu dian yang di jin de De da gun ji ji su da lu shi Ge wan de da tang ji ra du ngon Du song xie bin jia dang ji ji Wan wan gang la chu du ngang ba de Da jin ge yue za wan di gun jang zombo shu shi ro du ngo wa